ARCA Menards Series. All the teams are ready.
Long day, have fun. Let's go win this.
Green flag is in the air.
This is a great opportunity for these guys to showcase their talent.
It's so much more intense than I anticipated.
We have trouble. Hard contact. We got a big crash. This is a big one.
We did it! Yeah!
I think we're going to see them in victory lane many more times.
I'm so happy.
We are ready to go racing. And we are fired up and ready for race number 8 for the ARCA Menards Series. The fans are ready, the drivers, a beautiful night. We're so happy to have you for race number 8 of the season. Hello there and welcome in. I'm Jamie Little, Phil Parsons, and we welcome back Trevor Bain to the booth once again. And you know, if you've been following along with ARCA Menards Series, it has been all about Jesse Love. He's already won 4 times this season. So the big question is, now that we're road course racing, can anybody stop him?
Boy, I'm not sure. He's, remember the first 3 wins he had this year. He had never been to those racetracks before because he just turned 18 over the winter. He has been to this racetrack. As a matter of fact, he's a 2-time ARCA West Series champion. His first win ever was on a road course in Tooele, Utah. So it's not like he's going to be at a disadvantage when he comes to a road course. He is going to have some issues, though. He had trouble and was not able to make a qualifying lap, so he's going to have to start at the back. But Jesse Love is a great race car driver. He's been good in everything he's done, but he will have some competition, Trevor.
He will, and it's hard to believe Jesse Love has as much experience as he does. He's only 18, but he's been in this series since he was 15 in the East Series and West Series. He's on a heater right now. 4 races of the last 5 he has won. The other one a second-place finish. But I'm looking at some of these double dippers this weekend. Tyler Ankrum here that you see on screen, he's going to be running the truck race tomorrow. You see a lot of names here, 6 of them, that are going to be battling Jesse Love, the regular, coming in to show him what they can do.
He knows a little bit about William Sawalich, too, doesn't he?
He knows a little bit about that 18 car that he's going to be battling all weekend long.
Well, we watched practice and qualifying earlier, and it's going to be tough. There's going to be some competition out there. And covering all the action, 2 ladies we know well, Heather DeBow and Jamie Howe. Good evening, Jamie.
Good evening to you as well, Jamie. One of the regulars who sits second in the points right now behind Jesse Love is Frankie Muniz. And if you would have asked him back in Daytona in February if he'd be happy with that, it would have been a resounding yes. He only wanted to prove that he was meant to be here and back in racing. Now, I say back in racing because it was actually at this racetrack in 2009 where he was competing in the Atlantics, the Open Wheel Series. He had a major crash, broke his back, injured both of his hands, broke some of his ribs. He's had to recover from that. It's been a long time coming. He had Mid-Ohio circled on the calendar for the year. He said his helmet's on, it is go time. He's put all of that behind him. Now he wants to prove that he can be in the top 5 as well. Heather?
And another guy who's been chasing his career for a couple years here after moving to Charlotte is Jack Wood. Now, he had very minimal road course experience prior to moving, like I said, but also he has been working very hard to develop those skills. He's done everything from iRacing to testing to running in the Trans Am TA2 series. In fact, he was here just a month ago at Mid-Ohio for a test, but unfortunately during that day, it was cut short due to rain. So he didn't leave here feeling like he got a good handle on this racetrack. But one benefit he does have this weekend is extra seat time since he is running in both the ARCA Series and the Truck Series. And another thing he has on his side is that he had a win at Sonoma Raceway in May in the TA2 car. So maybe that'll be the extra experience boost he needs to propel him to his first ARCA Menards Series career win. Jamie?
Thank you, Heather. The ladies in blue, have a good evening down there. I know it is warm. And as you take a look at the points leaderboard, Frankie Muniz, Jamie talked about him. He's 40 points back, but he has had a heck of a season. And it wasn't until our last race that he did not finish for the first time. He's been very consistent, Phil. So Jesse Love on top, talked about him. 40 points is a lot, but this is a road course. A lot could happen. You talked about the issues he had. He'll be starting in the back of the field, and that's going to be something to watch.
Andres Perez, 3rd in points, really only didn't even get to start Daytona. He wasn't old enough, turned 18 after Daytona, so he's doing an outstanding year, has not finished out of the top 10 this year.
Jesse Love's certainly been impressive, so we'll see what he's made of tonight as they try to overcome those issues. As you see, all the drivers are ready. They are ready to drop the flag for just the 3rd time ever at Mid-Ohio. Let's go trackside now for the command to start engines.
On behalf of our retail partner Menards, let's get the Zinsser Smart Coat 150 underway. Drivers, start your engines.
This week's Sioux Chief fast track driver we're going to focus on is Jack Wood. Heather DeBow talked a lot about him. He's been in the series part-time for the last few years. Same in the truck series. So Sioux Chief focusing their efforts on him tonight. The Loomis, California native. He's raced in the ARCA East and ARCA Menards series. Looking for his first series win. Perhaps he'll get it done here tonight, Trevor.
You would like to do that. You know, Jack Wood has done a good job in his limited starts at KBM. I know he's wanting to get that 100th win for Kyle Busch Motorsports in the truck series, but he's got his work cut out here in the ARCA series today. And this is all about experience, right? He'll be in that truck race tomorrow, wants to get as many laps as he can, learn this racetrack, and be a contender for a win at the end.
And the fast track, of course, are drivers they're focused on that are going to move up into the other series of NASCAR. Plenty more to come, including the green flag. Wow, look at that. Is he going to pace the field? Welcome back to a beautiful Mid-Ohio sports car course. And there it is. I asked if he was going to pace the field. Look at that Menards shopping cart.
I think it looks like it'll zip on through there.
That looks like a fun ride. A great way to see the course. And speaking of seeing the course, Mid-Ohio's 2.25-mile road course, 13 turns.
How about the 20 happened to be pushed off? Remember, he did not get to make a qualifying lap because he had some sort of an issue. They have changed everything on that car, electrical or fuel-wise, and obviously Trevor's still a problem.
Well, this is stressful for that young driver because he knows he's the one to beat today. And now, starting the race like this, even if it fires up, you know you're going to be chasing gremlins all day long if they don't get this figured out.
Ooh, and he got it fired.
Got it fired. Jesse Love makes his way out onto the track. So I just mentioned 13 turns here. So Phil, Trevor, take us through.
Yeah, let's start the start-finish line. Watch the yellow line there. This is turn one, left-hander. Up to third gear, down here to the keyhole, down to 45 miles an hour. But that starts the long back straight. A little bit of a kink, turn three, up 165 miles an hour as they get down to turn number 4 and then 5. And Trevor, that starts the yeses. This is technical.
You sounded really calm on that first part, but this back half here, the yellow line's going faster than I can go through here, that's for sure. It's a lot of elevation change, a lot of off-camber corners, and a lot of finesse, Phil. Those first parts of the track that you took over, you got muscle memory and you got braking points. When you get to that back half, it's all finesse with that throttle and brake keeping you busy.
Well, earlier today we had a practice session and then qualifying session. There he is right there, the fastest man of the day. 16-year-old Sean Hangarani gets it done. His 4th career start in the ARCA Menards series and his first career pole. So congratulations getting that General Tire pole award.
In addition to running these national series races, he's also racing the full East and full West series for the ARCA Menards series and doing well in both.
And he's racing for Venturini Motorsports. He has more starts than anybody else. As you take a look at the Zinsser Smart Coat starting lineup, you see Tyler Ankrum. Yep, he's in the field for just the 2nd time of his career. You see him in the truck series every week.
Great row too here. William Sawalich, young, impressive 16-year-old along with Jack Wood looking for win number 1.
Yeah, and you look at Andres Perez here, starting in that car that Nick Sanchez did so well in a couple years ago and last year. It's going to be a tough race today, Phil.
Yeah, Dale Quarterly is a former winner in the old Busch North
double
series.
Double duty today.
Yep, been doing double duty this weekend for Dale Quarterly.
There's another one. Connor Jones snuck by us, another double duty. Looking back through the field here, I'm telling you, this is a stacked field tonight for this ARCA race.
There's rookie John Garrett having a nice year, top 10 already this year. Bob Shack, 73 years old, a 17-time winner here in the ARCA series. First start in probably 7 or 8 years.
I know you and Michael Waltrip were talking about him earlier. You all maybe ran some laps with him?
I ran one race against Bob way back in the day, I think.
Back to the back of this field, Jesse Love having to start in the rear. You just saw the issues, and as we mentioned, they did get it fired, but that issue is not resolved. I've got to imagine they are really scratching their heads.
He's back on pit road. I caught a glimpse of him as we were watching the field, him back on pit road. Obviously, still some issues with that 20 car for Jesse Love.
Well, you got to think the rest of the field is thinking right now, we got a shot at this because the 20 is having issues as you see him on pit road right now. Heather.
And the team right now looking over the 20 car. Now, as we mentioned, he did not get to qualify today due to electrical issues. They originally thought they had a kill switch go bad, so they replaced everything electrical underneath that car, from the front harness to the ignition to the interior batteries to the cables. And as we saw, when he went to roll off, the car did not want to go. Now, he said when he got the push, his helmet fan turned on. Then when he wiggled the car back and forth, the dash lit up, and then it fired up. And he was trying to tell his crew chief, Shannon Rush, everything's okay, but Shannon opted to come down pit road to check it out anyways. Now, he was reminding his team the battery's on the right-hand side, so they had a battery to bring over to switch. They are now in the car looking to see if they can tighten up something on the electrical side to make sure that the 20 remains running. Jamie Howe.
Well, while they continue to have issues on pit lane, I want to go back out to the racetrack. That number 75, Bob Schatt, that Phil was talking about. You were right, Phil. It was 7 years ago. 2016 was the last time that we saw Bob behind the wheel in the ARCA Menards series, but he did make 183 starts prior to that. Today's number 184, but he is in a brand new race car. Think about how much has changed over the last couple of years. He didn't have a car that was made for road courses that was built to today's spec, so he built this one. 2 weeks ago, he took it out to VIR in Virginia, crashed it into the tire, so he had to rebuild that car just to get it ready for here. But he said, my goal today is simple. I'm here to have fun. Can't wait to watch it.
Jamie, that's what this ARCA Menards series is all about. It's a development series, but it's also somewhere that everybody can race. If you love it like these guys do, we've got 16-year-olds all the way up to 73 years old. And speaking of, John Garrett is our bounty rookie. He's the spotlight today, driving the number 66. He's from Athens, Texas, and he drives for the 1995 ARCA Menards Series champ, Andy Hillenberg, and his fast track high performance racing team. 11th ARCA Menards Series race, so he is a rookie at this ripe age. I would say he's a veteran.
Yeah, last 4 races, top 15 finishes, doing a really nice job here. Let's take a look at our onboards here. Here's Zach Herron. This is the bounty onboard. Zach will be starting from the 33rd. I'm sorry, he finished 33rd at Daytona, his only other start this year.
You've got Todd Souza starting 10th with the Reese's onboard camera and a little air hose there cooling his electrical components in the car.
How about Frankie Muniz? Really impressive start to the season. 11th was his worst finish till he got wrecked the last time out at Elko, Minnesota. 2nd points, and this is a General Tire onboard.
We talked about this double-duty driver earlier, Jack Wood, starting 3rd here in the Sioux Chief on board. I know he's wanting to go up there and challenge for the win today.
All right, here they come. Sean Hangarani, Tyler Ankrum in the 61. Jesse Love came in for a little bit of insurance, so he'll start in the back. Green flag is in the air. A great start for Sean Hangarani. Jack Wood with a nice start for him, moving into the 2nd spot, just behind the 15. Side by side, Tyler Ankrum trying to get that spot back.
Everybody else is busy except for Sean. He got a great start and it was clean sailing getting into turn 1. Could open up that entry, get that nice arc in. Meanwhile, everybody else was too wide through the keyhole.
Good battle there for the 4th spot, side by side. The black and red car is the 18 of Sawalich. He's going to try to pull to the inside of Jack Wood. He does get to the inside of Jack Wood.
And there is Jesse Love, already making passes, making his way through.
And breathing a big sigh of relief that that car is still running.
This isn't going to be an easy pass for Jesse Love. You saw there as he dove to the bottom, he kind of got pinched off. This track does not have a lot of visibility, and who knows how many spotters each of these teams have. Some maybe have 2 or 3, but it might be your hauler driver. You know, somebody that's not used to spotting. So if you're Jesse Love right now, take your time, methodically work your way through this field. Don't take any kind of risk.
And remember, Trevor, most of these guys use Cup and Xfinity spotters, but most of them are all in Atlanta. As you see Jesse try to move to the inside of Todd Souza, so they're not their regular spotters necessarily that they're working with, as well as needing more than one.
No doubt about it. And you kind of see him here. He's much faster than the 13 in front of him, but he's going to pull out a line in an area where he can know for sure that the drivers in front of him are expecting that pass and don't chop the corner.
Jesse Love trying to make the pass to get into the top 10 already on lap number 1.
Yeah, he'll make the move this time, I would think, to try to getting down in turn number 3. I'm sorry, turn number 2, the keyhole.
I love the sound of the tires. As you say, Phil, they're just making him angry.
They're complaining.
They're complaining.
They're complaining, exactly. See, Jesse was able to make the move on Souza.
Be a lot of complaining going on when they get their doors blown off of 20. They're saying, hey, we got some work to do here. There he goes down to turn 4, trying to make another pass out front of Todd Souza there.
You hate to see anybody have issues like Jesse did, not get a lap on this track, but it sure does make it fun for us watching, doesn't it?
We hate it for him,
checked
love it
up
for
to
us.
55, slow right there. That's Dean Thompson.
Some sort of an issue for Dean Thompson. Could be electrical as well. That's a teammate to Jesse Love. Remember, those cars come out of Venturini Motorsports stable. Dean, one of those drivers you talked about doing double duty, Trevor.
I don't know that he'll make it back around, Phil. We might see a caution here if he can't get it back up the hill or find an access road to get off the racetrack.
Looks like he could be having some mechanical issues. Maybe electrical issue. Oh, looks like it just came to life again right there.
Sure does.
That's Tim Richmond in the 06, that bright red car. Now Jesse Love trying to get around the 30 of Frankie Muniz. Muniz second in the points, 40 points back, and Jesse Love setting him up for the chase right here, trying to get to the inside already.
There is no better feeling as a race car driver than when you know you have the class of the field car, you can be in control of the race, and when you start from the rear and drive by every one of them.
You just hope that those gremlins have now walked out of your car and left for the day.
That's right.
And it's still in the back of your mind, is this thing going to keep running? And he just saw his teammate have an issue as well. Here they are, the long back straightaway, upwards of 160 miles an hour.
Frankie throwing a little block on him there.
I think it's going to be all for naught.
We have to mention Frankie Muniz. He is a rookie in the ARCA Menards series, never run in this series before. He does have 4 starts here at Mid-Ohio in an open wheel car. And Jamie talked about it earlier. He had a big accident here back in 2009, ended his racing career until now. So a little redemption, I think, but also great experience. Oh, and a bump by Jesse Love. He almost turns Frankie Muniz.
A little bit of impatience there. Now he really only followed Frankie for about, several corners.
And this series is great for learning how to race. Most young drivers come in, even in the truck series or Xfinity or ARCA, and they have speed, but it's learning how to take care of that vehicle for the entire race to make smart moves. Obviously, Frankie got offline a little bit. Jesse goes to dive under. Doesn't expect him to check up that much in the apex, and man, just stays in it.
Yeah, he just never back off the throttle. Just about turned Frankie around. And unfortunately, drivers have really long memories. There he is.
Yeah, that's
Frankie,
a good save by Frankie.
Really nice save by Frankie there. He's going to remember that little issue. It would have been a lot worse, though, if he'd have got spun out.
Got about 38 laps to go, Jesse. You have time. You have time. But what a clinic he has put on so far in 7th spot. But it's been all about Sean Hangarani, the 16-year-old out of Newport Beach, California, has led them all so far. ARCA Racing on FS1 is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. And by Bounty. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. And the lead up front is shrinking for Sean Hangarani. Tyler Ankrum trying to close that gap just a bit.
Yeah, by lap 2, Sean Hangarani had about a half-second lead. Since then, Tyler Ankrum's been able to manage that. But the rest of the field, the bad news is they're about 9 seconds back now, Jamie. So these two have pulled away and are kind of pushing each other.
And caution is out for the first time. That looks like Tim Richmond, the 06. He had checked up on the track. Looked like something is wrong with the left front of that car, so he stopped there.
Yeah, we were watching as we went to commercial break, and he was slow on the racetrack, and we wondered if he would take an access road to pull off the racetrack, but he's going to stay on the racetrack and bring out the caution.
We were working lap 8. Check that lap 7 of 42.
Well, that's going to eliminate that 9-second lead they have over the 3rd place car, and it's going to give Jesse Love a great opportunity, who's made his way up to the 6th spot now, to be in contention with these guys.
Let's get a couple updates. Jamie.
want to talk about Tyler Ankrum still running in that second place position. But, you know, this car, this number 61 machine that Hattori's put together, this car has quite the pedigree behind it. It has never finished outside of the top 6 in the handful of times that Hattori has brought it out, including back in 2021 when Austin Hill drove this car here in the ARCA Menards series. He ended up finishing second. So it's a great machine underneath him. Tyler felt great behind the wheel this morning. He said it's going to be all about just playing with the weather conditions. The sun is really hot right now. The track's been in the heat all day long, figuring out how much they can change it when they do come in for the pit lane, because as the evening goes on, as we know, it's going to get just a little bit cooler. So it's going to be all about making those changes. He just needs the track experience so he can help him out for the truck race tomorrow. Heather?
And just to update here on Dean Thompson in the 55, we saw him a few laps ago lose voltage and the car shut off on him, but then it fired right back up. So he said it might be a kill switch, but he said it hasn't given him any problems since. His crew chief, Caden Lapsevich, also asked, has the voltage been okay during this run? And he said, yeah, it's been fine. But hopefully for this team, they're not about to get plagued by the same problems that the 20 had earlier with their electrical issues.
Interesting with the electrical issues we've seen today. A couple of cars in the ARCA field, and we saw Zane Smith in the truck series have an issue during qualifying.
And it certainly hasn't been because of adverse weather. You know, certainly no precipitation today.
I thought it was interesting. The Tyler Ankrum car has been sitting on jack stands for 2 years. Phil, do you ever have a race car like that you could just pull out with your silver bullet when you needed it?
No, we would use it the next week.
Okay.
Yeah, we wouldn't wait.
I love that, because then there were stories behind every car. So I like that story that Jamie just told, the good pedigree, as she said, with that 61. Well, Tuesday, Betts, Ohtani, Acuna Jr., and baseball's biggest headliners take center stage in Seattle for the Midsummer Classic. That's right, it's the 2023 All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday at 7 Eastern on Fox. I know, Phil, you're a big fan of the All-Star Game.
I really am, and I'm really a big fan of Ohtani, too. It's amazing what he's been able to do. And I read a stat a week or two ago that he eclipsed or equaled some record that has been held since Babe Ruth did it. Remember back in the early teens, 19 teens, that Babe Ruth was an incredible pitcher before he started playing every day in the field.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch on Tuesday. I'm looking at the running order right now. Dale Quarterly, we'll talk about him, but very impressive. Well, we're under caution for the first time. We'll drop the green flag again, see if Sean Hingorani can hang on. Welcome back to the Zinser Smart Coat 150. See, that 15 has been fast. Just his 4th career ARCA Menards Series start for Sean Hingorani. But you know who's jumped out to me, guys? In 7th spot in the 4, Dale Quarterly, the 62-year-old. From Massachusetts, holding his own.
Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me because he's won a couple times at the old K&N East Series on the road course at Lime Rock. Also won a modified race at Lime Rock, too. So a great road racer. It's really got his start AMA Superbikes. That's 2 wheels.
2 wheels to 4.
I don't think it translates very well.
I don't think so, but he's obviously fast.
Zach Herron is in the field. He used to race 2 wheels. Now he's gone to 4 wheels, twos.
Easier going from 2 to 4 than 4 to 2, I can tell you that.
There you go. We've seen him try both, right?
Yeah.
All right. Restart for Sean Hingorani. Tyler Ankrum was closing the gap before the caution. Let's see if he can hang on and battle that 15.
It's a good opportunity for Jesse Love now to erase that deficit and get up here and battle among the top 5.
Much better start for Tyler Ankrum this time. He's going to look to the inside. First time all day, Sean Hingorani's feeling some pressure.
Do you see Jesse Love duck to the inside right there? Just came into frame. Second car in line on the inside.
We just got a lead change, Phil.
How about that? Tyler Ankrum's going to beat Hingorani off the corner.
He doesn't. He was sizing him up before that caution got so close, and he gets him. We have a lead change for the first time in this race.
And if I'm Hingorani, I'm okay with it. He knows that Tyler Ankrum has a lot of road racing experience. Let me follow him for a little bit here and see maybe if I can learn something. Maybe I can get better in a couple spots as we see a great battle for 3rd. Is that Jack Wood, the 6 on the inside of Sawalich in the 18.
I think you might have mentioned the 18 and 20 battling it out at some point. I think we're going to see that come to life here in the next couple laps.
There's the 18, the 6 in between, and there's the 20.
There's no love lost between these two. The 18 and the 20, the numbers, the cars, the teams. It's Joe Gibbs Racing in the 18. Venturini Motorsports have always battled, but these two drivers in particular, not big fans of one another.
We've had a couple short track battles over the last few weeks at Berlin and Elko, Minnesota that will attest to that.
Yes. What a finish at Elko it was.
So far, that 18 of Williams Swallow came out on top. I'm kind of surprised that Jesse Love got stalled out there behind Jack Wood. We saw him quickly move up into the top 7, but now that he's in a little bit tougher competition, it definitely gets harder. You have to challenge those braking zones more. We might see him peek to the inside here into the keyhole. There he goes out to the inside of the 6 car.
Jack hard into the corner. Jack did not let Jesse outbrake him getting into turn 2 in the keyhole.
Sometimes you peek out to try to force a mistake. You know, maybe I can't get there, but if I pull out, he might overdrive it, lock up some wheels, and I can get by him in the next corner.
I want to get out of his mirror so he can't see me anymore. So he has to wonder whether I'm on his inside.
You guys play games?
No.
No.
Hey, we saw it in the Truck Series not too long ago when Grant Enfinger pulled that move on Ty Majeski and Zane Smith caused the crash there at Gateway, won the race. I mean, that's what drivers do. You want to pull out a line, get them thinking, and he's working them over right now, working hard.
Jesse Love once again started in the back, had electrical issues, even came down pit road before the start of the race. They changed out the battery. They changed everything on this car that they could today. Started in the back, and now he's up here in the top 5.
We're on lap number 10 too. He can afford to be patient here. I'm not sure Jesse at 18 years old is going to be that patient, but he can afford to be patient. We know we're going to have a break on or around lap number 21 that they're going to be able to change tires, make some adjustments. And again, he's in a great spot right now up in the top 5. I don't think he has anything to worry about.
Let's get an update on Jesse Love. Heather.
And Jesse really didn't get a lot of time to judge himself against the competition today, but he thinks that he's going to be good along with his teammate of Sean Hangarani in the 15. And we've seen it so far. He's moved up through the field pretty fast. And when I asked Jesse if he was worried about coming from the back, he said, nah, we'll be all right. It's a long race. We have a guaranteed caution. So Jesse seemed pretty cool and calm earlier when I talked to him, but we'll see if he keeps that calm head under him, because he did tell me one race that you have to keep cool in order to win races. So we'll see if Jesse can keep a cool head and get win number 5 of the season here.
And Heather, during your report, he made the move on Jack Wood into 4th as we continue to work lap 11 here.
And a nice pass too, wasn't it?
He did that the right way. The other thing I think about as I watch him work through the field is that this track's really worn out, really abrasive. So as you're making passes, you're challenging those brakes, you're challenging the tires, wearing them out. We heard it qualifying and practice, the tires squealing. You guys heard it in every series that's been on track this weekend. So he's definitely wearing those tires more than maybe Tyler Ankrum and Sean Hingarani, who are just up here logging laps up front. So once they're on equal playing ground and everybody has worn out tires or everybody has new tires, we'll see what happens.
It's a great battle for the lead right here. Sean definitely not backing down, but Tyler Ankrum in the meantime leading his first laps ever in the ARCA Menards Series. Hard to believe he's only run one other race in the National Series. Of course, he ran the East Series back in 2018. 4 wins that year, and you know who he drove for when he won the championship? David Gilliland.
How about that? He won his first Truck Series race driving for David Gilliland as well. 20 cars made his way by the 18 of Sawalich to move up into the 3rd spot now.
This is where it'll get interesting, Phil. You've got a 4-second gap now, a little over 4 seconds up to those 2 lead cars. We'll be able to watch those lap times, see if he can shorten that gap down, see what he's got for the leaders. You can see it here. 4 seconds looks like a lot on the racetrack here, but with 13 corners, 2.5 miles, in a lap, you can make up quite a bit of time.
And he's by himself on the clean racetrack in front of him, too, so there's nothing will hold him back. So we'll get a good gauge from his lap times how he compares to Ankrum and Hingarani.
These two up front are in a league of their own. Just the 3rd time ever that the ARCA Menards Series has raced here at Mid-Ohio.
I love watching these drivers come off the corner exits. Mid-Ohio added pavement, you told me earlier, Phil. The red area off the yellow curbing, they've added that. Well, if you give a race car driver an inch, they're going to take a mile. We still see drivers running out in the dirt using every bit of asphalt that they've got available.
It's actually the 4th race. The first one was back in 1965. And who was the winner, Phil?
Jack Bowser, one of my mentors.
Won a lot of races in this series.
3-time champion.
Made the return here in 2021.
Ty Gibbs went to victory lane that day.
And last year, we had the rain to battle. Teammates taking each other out. There was all kinds of things happening last year. But it was Taylor Gray at the end of the day getting the job done.
teammates battling here for Venturini Motorsports. Connor Jones in the 25, Dean Thompson. Remember, had that issue when his car shut off, now battling back inside the top 10.
Dean Thompson's had some good runs. Just getting extra lap time, you know, laps on the track. Help him out in the truck series. He's finished second here in both of his starts. Look at them side by side leaning on each other.
That movement into the keyhole is a little bigger than most people realize. You could see the wheel hop in the 25 car as it tracked down into the corner. As a driver, you're holding your breath saying, please stop. Don't hop all the way into this corner and I wipe out my teammate here. He got it slowed down, but that almost was a big moment.
And we talk about these drivers, excuse me, Jamie, being teammates, but remember, they come with different agendas. As far Connor Jones may have never met Dean Thompson till yesterday, so they're not teammates in the true sense of the word like we know in the Cup Series or the Xfinity Series.
Hey, we've seen teammates get into it there before too, Phil.
Yeah, and then Dean Thompson has his hand out the window asking him, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you laying on my door after I just passed you?
Connor Jones is a fast 17-year-old, and Billy Venturini, I talked to him about this young driver, and he said he is so fast, naturally talented, fast, but we got to keep him from hitting things. Back it down just a little bit, and we'll get the job done. Top 5, no doubt, but putting on a show here with his teammate for the 9th spot.
Do you think either of these drivers are holding anything back right now? You think it's wide open, or are they playing a little cat and mouse here, Phil?
I think I want to go wide open. I want to know what these tires are going to do at the end of this 20 or 21 lap run, so I know how to play the second half of the race. But we talked about now we would see how much Jesse Love had for these two contenders. He has lost pace from these guys. He has not been able to maintain the pace that these front two are running.
Still hear those tires squealing. You can see it's getting darker there. Sun is setting.
I like what I'm seeing out of Tyler Ankrum here. Sean Hingorani's making his time up on entry. Tyler Ankram's making his time up on exit. That's what you want to do on a road course to take care of those tires. Make sure you roll the center, get on the throttle early, and roll the exit.
Tyler Ankrum doing a great job leading laps here. But 5 laps and counting on board with Todd Souza. Look at that battle of teammates side by side. That's for 9th place. You think it's for the lead. Welcome back to ARCA Menards Series Racing from Mid-Ohio. As you're seeing, Casey Carden in the 03 had some issues right when we went to break. He's being taken off the racetrack. So that brought out caution for the 2nd time today. You see what happened here, Trevor.
Yeah, it looks like a left front went down. There's debris flying everywhere all over the track. I just like how we're timing these cautions. You all aren't missing any green flag action.
That's
you
right.
know, we've just got them queued up perfect for our commercial breaks today.
If only we could do that every single race. It was that easy, right? So not the way he wanted to end his day. The battle up front was fierce. Look at this little guy. He's got his Hot Wheels.
That's a super speedway right there. Look at the banking in the corners on that track.
Going the wrong direction, though, Phil.
That's true. That's true. Well, we're on a road course.
Oh, that's yeah.
Nothing better than a warm summer afternoon hanging out with your family watching a race. Jamie, what do you have?
Well, John Leonard's the crew chief for Tyler Ankrum in that number 61. We've seen him be able to hold off the rest of the pack. He had a much better restart there than the initial start. He says the car's coming to him. How is that?
Yeah, he's just biding his time, right? It's all practice. It's all about tomorrow, right? Trying to get in the playoffs and trying to get HRE a W here in the ARCA Series.
All right. Well, man, a few words, but that car is fast. Yep. Jamie, Heather.
And catching up now with Jesse Love's crew chief, Shannon Rush. Shannon, you guys have had a day here as he talks to his driver over the radio. So you've had some electrical issues, but Jesse's making his way up through the field and putting on a show for us. Any other issues going on for you guys, or how are you feeling now that you kind of overcame that?
I'm feeling, I don't know, optimistic. No, I feel good about it. I need to get to this lap 21 break here. I feel like I have one more adjustment, so we should go win the race, you know. I mean, the guys out in front of us are good, you know. Tyler, Sean are both really, really fast, so probably hurt us a little bit not being able to qualify, but I feel like I have, you know, a small adjustment, and we should be in contention for it, I hope, you know. So it should be a good race for everybody.
Thanks, Shannon.
Well, Jesse Love started the race 19th by lap 12 up into the 3rd spot. So you heard from his crew chief, wants to make a couple of adjustments when we have that scheduled break coming up at or around lap 21. Well, maybe we have a Reese's Sweet Move of the Race nominee. What do you think, Phil?
I think so. This is certainly going to be my early choice for the sweet move, the battle for the lead and the pass for the lead by Ankrum over Hangirani.
Sean Hangirani's hoping that we have another sweet move later when he gets back by Tyler Ankrum.
Yeah, he's not voting for that. That's his sweet move for sure.
I mean,
Clean racing up front for sure.
You say that's the only option, but Jesse Love would beg to differ. He's only passed, what, 17, 18 cars so far today?
Right. Well, that's starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Vote for tonight's sweet move of the race by Reese's on the ARCA Menards Series Twitter page at ARCA_racing. We'll be back from Mid-Ohio. Welcome back to the Zinsser Smart Coat 150 under caution for the second time today. Getting ready for the restart as the pace truck makes that left-hander. It's been all Tyler Ankrum and Sean Hangirani up front, but Jesse Love is on the inside. He wants a piece of this. Green flag, they're nose to nose. Jesse Love takes a peek, doesn't make it happen next to the 18, William Sawalich, and he gets around him. Jesse Love still side by side, doesn't make it stick.
Sawalich going to drive in there, as well as Hangirani.
Ooh, a little smoke off the right rear of the 15 car. Got in deep, but he's going to make it work.
Incredible racing up front by these two.
Now, turn 4 is not a place you want to go in too wide. Somebody will have to give here on entry to this corner for the lead, and that's tough to do. It's like a game of chicken. Who's going to break first?
Is Ankrum going to try to hang in there on the outside? He will have position in turn 5 on the inside.
And Ankrum gets him the next corner. Jesse Love gets around the 18 of William Sawalich and makes it stick. Jesse Love to the 3rd spot.
How about these guys side by side still for the lead?
I said you don't want to go through turn 4. They said we're going to go a whole lap too wide.
We're going to go through every corner side by side.
We'll find out which one's the hardest to go too wide in.
So impressed by Sean Hangirani. This young man started racing a year and a half ago from Newport Beach, California. Played stick and ball sports. His buddy raced and he thought it was cool, wanted to check it out. He was on the Toyota radar. They said, let's give this guy a shot. He's in the development program. Look at him here battling for the lead in this ARCA series.
Watching that battle there makes me feel like Tyler Ankrum might have a little bit left in the tank. He was able to keep his car a lot straighter while Sean Hangirani was kind of hanging it out on the Hangirani. he was sideways and really challenging his tires a lot more than Tyler Ankrum was to win that battle. So that makes me wonder, once they got out to that 6-7 second lead above 3rd place, was Tyler Ankrum kind of holding back some wear and tear on his race car?
Andres Perez trying to get by Sawalich in that battle for 4th.
Side by side, and Dale Quarterly in the 4. Watching them battle side by side, trying to figure out a way to enter this party.
We talked about Quarterly. Really a nice job by Dale Quarterly.
Mixing it up with the kids. Love to see this. Diversity in this sport.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
They're rubbing. They all keep it straight. Dale Quarterly's going for it.
Oh
no.
And Perez, I guess, didn't like it and decided to turn him around, it looked like.
Dale Quarterly in the grass. Let's see if he could keep it going forward. We'll stay under green, and he does.
And that's the risk you run with aggressive moves like that. You're coming into turn 5. That's a very off-camber left-hander. You're putting yourself potentially on the outside of 3 wide in turn 5, and it didn't work out good for Dale here. Obviously having a really fast car, really good day, maybe a little bit overconfident in that, going for it.
Hey, it was fun to watch. I liked watching your reaction, Trevor. No, don't do it. Here it is.
See, they were side by side coming off the keyhole, so that slowed their momentum down a little bit. Quarterly has a good run. And this is about where I said, please don't. And he decided to jump in there and try to outbrake him.
That's a little bit of a late move here to me. It makes it work somewhat, but the next corner is the one that'll get you.
But they're going to make contact. Sawalich may not have known and realized that they were going to be 3 wide, so they got a little bit squeezed, and Perez got squeezed, and then he took matters into his own hand, it looked like, and made sure he didn't have to worry about Dale Quarterly.
And you wouldn't have to do much more than breathe on the guy in front of you through that corner. As off camber as it is and how light the race cars get, kind of transitioning down the hill, doesn't take a lot.
So Dale Quarterly falls back to 13th after that incident. Andres Perez shown in the 5th spot right now.
Looks like Jesse Love has been able to hang with the 2 leaders a lot better than he has the earlier part of the race. They've opened up almost a 3-second lead over the 3rd place running Sawalich. 4th place, excuse me.
Tyler Ankrum leading laps here in the ARCA Menards series for the first time in his career, and he's now led the most laps today. 11 laps and counting.
Remember, these guys will have an opportunity to make some adjustments, change tires, add fuel at our break.
That scheduled caution could come out at any time. They'll have 5 minutes on the clock. Non-competitive stops.
We've seen Shannon Rush, Jesse Love's crew chief, really make some nice adjustments at these breaks. Jesse Love said at Elko that they had 2 breaks. Said he made it better getting in at the first break and made it better getting off on the second break.
Not good news for the competition. Shannon Rush has a plan, and they will execute as soon as this caution falls.
Riding along with the suit chief on board of Jack Wood. Right now running behind that 25 of Connor Jones.
Yeah, this is a driver I thought might be up there in that lead 3, you know, battling for the lead, and he's fallen back to 9th. Not happy with his race car right now. I'm sure he's looking forward to that break to kind of reset, work on this number 6, and see if he can't make it better.
See if Steve Plattberger, his crew chief, can make some adjustments to Jack's car. A little bit of a lock up there for Connor Jones.
Jack Wood was battling it out up there in the top 5 for the majority of this race and has just kind of fallen off.
See the 30 car right in front of the 25 of Connor Jones. That's Frankie Muniz really doing a nice job here, running 7th. Second points coming into this race. Connor Jones,
sideways.
He's going around.
Great camera work. That was live in
by
action.
Jack Wood.
Like they knew it was coming.
Not even paying the guy to do it. But that's why we love these onboards. You saw it firsthand. Connor Jones gets sideways. He gets it back around, but he is stopped on the racetrack.
And that transition there between turns 8 and 9 or turn 7, whichever numbers you want to use, it's broken up like 2 corners, but it's really one continuous arc. And I've mentioned off camber quite a bit of times, but that is the trickiest area on this racetrack. I remember running Xfinity back there 2013, 14 through 2012, and Justin Allgaier had an epic battle through there, and I'm pretty sure one of us went around right in that same spot because there's not a lot of grip, no room for error.
And there it is from outside the race car, and you saw Jack Wood saw that coming, was able to get around Connor Jones.
I might vote that for one of my Reese's Sweet moves for Jack to watch that, number 1, and then avoid that as well. This is Todd Souza's on board right behind Jack.
Yeah, that was early. Just lost it before he got to the apex.
I'm still laughing at this air hose, as you said, using it to cool down the electronics on the dash.
Caution is out. This will be our break. The competition caution.
As Phil mentioned, they can.
Hey, listen, you just got to get the job done. Put that air duct wherever you need it at. Make sure that thing stays running. Keep that ECU cool.
Normally we want the weight down in these cars, and that's about as high as you can get it. We know
Never
that
quite seen it like that.
The hose doesn't weigh all that much, but it does have some weight.
Well, Connor Jones went around back in 15th, Heather.
Yes, and that's not the first time he's gone around today. He spun in practice and went to the beach, as they said. He lost it off of turn 9 into that sand trap. But when I talked to his crew chief, Kevin Reed Jr., he said Connor's really just trying to get used to it. He doesn't have a lot of road course experience. He did run Watkins Glen last year, but this track at Mid-Ohio is way more technical. So Connor Jones just out there to learn as much as he can. Of course, he's one of the guys in both the trucks and the ARCA series. So a lot of seat time for that young 17-year-old this weekend.
Phil, did you send him out there to look for your golf balls? Is that what happened in practice?
On the beach? Yeah, exactly. Mine was buried, though. I had a fried egg in the sand.
Would not want to lose your golf ball or your race car in the sand trap at Mid-Ohio. They are serious. So 23 laps into a 42-lap race here at Mid-Ohio.
It's Bob Shack, the 75, running in the 13th spot. Bob doing a nice job. Again, first ARCA race in 7 years. 17-time winner, but one of those wins was on a road course at St. Louis. Actually, prior to Gateway being formed in the late 90s, they had a little less than a 1-mile road course, and Bob won a race there.
And now you know.
Now you know.
Well, these fans have seen some great action so far from these drivers, especially up front. Plenty more to come, including pit stops after this. Lexington, Ohio. Today, all eyes are on the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
Yeah, we're gonna rock like this.
He is stuck.
Watch this windshield get covered here. Wow.
We're gonna rock like this.
And pit stops about to begin here at Mid-Ohio as you see that ARCA Menards Series official saying, hang on, can't jump the wall yet, need to have everybody park, and there's the green light. As you see the pit road procedure a little bit different in this series. After the competition caution, you have 4 crew members allowed over. You could change 4 tires and add fuel. You cannot do them simultaneously. And the restart order is set by the order at the time of the caution, which is why we often call them non-competitive stops.
Yeah, and it's a money-saving device is what that is. And Truck Series actually is going to have something very similar tomorrow.
Well, it's time now for the Richmond mid-race reports, and we'll kick it off with Jamie Howe.
Well, we'll start off with Tyler Ankrum in that number 61. Now, while he doesn't have a whole lot of ARCA experience, what he does know is he is very happy with the way that car is performing. He said over the radio right before he came to pit lane that the only thing he really needs are 4 new tires. What he would also like, obviously, is enough fuel to get him to the checkered flag. But he said he left all the fans off. The balance really came to him. What the team expects is what happened is that right before this session, there was a really long truck practice and qualifying session. A whole bunch of the Goodyear rubber was laid down by the trucks, and because of that, it took them a little bit to get their balance back that they had earlier on, but it came to him. He's happy. He's ready to get it all the way to the checkered flag and is in his rhythm. As for William Swalowich in the number 18, he said he is not in a rhythm. He started this race in 4th. He restarted in 4th. He's still in 4th right now. He said he has just enough behind the wheel to be able to hold others off behind him, but he does not have enough to fight with. I talked to his crew chief, Matt Ross, and he said they just need to loosen him up everywhere. He needs something that he can be more aggressive with. So that's going to be his challenge as we get back to green. Heather?
And for Jesse Love in the 3rd position, he was saying he wanted a little bit more rear grip and needed a little bit of rear drive. But 1 lap before the break, he said he was having a fuel pressure problem. So more issues here for the 20. He said that the fuel pressure had been at 63, but then it was all the way down to 21, and it was like the 20 car wanted to die. So they're working to diagnose that problem on the 20 now. And then on the 15, for Sean Hangarani, he's in that 2nd position. I caught up with his crew chief, Manan Rahman, and he said he is really happy with that race car right there. They just need a little bit more on initial fire-off, but very minor adjustments because Sean said he does not want to risk losing the race car that he has. Sean also asked the team if anybody out back had anything for him, and they told him absolutely no one. So they are very confident with where that 15 car is running right now.
All right, so some good news, bad news. Sean Hangarani, he's on fire, happy with the car. Bad news, Jesse Love. Issues continue. Look at Dad out there playing a little football. It's a beautiful evening in Mid-Ohio. We'll drop the green flag again after this. ARCA Racing on FS1 is brought to you by General Tire. General Tire delivers the freedom to explore. And by Reese's. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's, not sorry. Could use some Reese's right about now.
Yeah.
Except for you're saying it wrong in Tennessee. I mean, growing up, it was Reese's, not Reese's.
That's right.
I had to relearn this, how to talk when I moved to Charlotte.
We love that about covering the ARCA Series. We get Reese's a lot. And last year, I think, what were they, 1 pound peanut butter cups that they delivered? So good. Keeps you going. But when the racing is good, you know.
Here's Zach Aaron. This is the Bounty onboard camera. Zach running in the 12th spot, having a pretty solid day. Again, only his 2nd start this year in the ARCA Menards Series.
Used to race super bikes.
Yeah.
His brother is a champion, and he decided that he wanted to go 4-wheel racing, and his partner encouraged him and said, you need to make this happen.
Yeah.
So he raced at Daytona and now making his 2nd start.
We mentioned that earlier. We've seen guys like Ricky Carmichael and riders come over to 4 wheels, And again, I'll say it. They do much better on 4 wheels than I would do on 2 wheels in the air. I'd spend more time on the ground than in the air.
I'll guarantee you that you never had to worry about me going from 4 wheels to 2 wheels. It wasn't going to happen.
Have you ever ridden a dirt bike or a street bike?
Yeah, a little bit. Not a lot. Not in years.
Enough to know that you weren't good enough.
Yes.
To
My wife limited me
stick with
to a
it.
pit bike, so we've got a little track in the backyard, and I felt like I was going really fast and jumping really high, and then I had her take a video, you know, like you would as a kid, like,
Yeah.
Mom, video.
Not so much.
I wasn't going very fast or very high, and I was like, all right, I'm done. So.
But Todd Sousa's going pretty fast. He's up on the 9th spot. We just caught a glimpse of his onboard just a moment ago. Here's Jack Wood. Trevor, you talked about it. Faded a little bit there towards the competition caution. This is the Sioux Chief on board. Jack's still up in the top 10, though, in 8.
Yep, Frankie Muniz here, General Tire on board. I wonder what's harder for him besides 2 wheels and 4 wheels, acting or driving.
Yeah.
You know, I got to imagine that'd be tough, too.
Yeah, no kidding. But he doesn't have to talk when he's driving.
Well, you can
Stroke is
memorize your
forward.
lines. Now, there's not anything you can memorize here because you
gotta
don't know
memorize your lines.
What you don't.
Again,
That's right.
It's still your
You
But you
lines.
don't know what
lines.
you don't when someone's going to push you off your line.
Well,
though.
see.
We'll get an update on Frankie after the restart. We're ready to go here. 19 laps to go in this ARCA Menards Series race from Mid-Ohio. And it's been a fun show up front. Sean Hangarani, Tyler Ankrum. The question, though, is that man right there in the 20, Jesse Love. They made some adjustments to the car, but you heard Heather report he has more issues to deal with.
We're going to find out how good he is on new tires. This is the first time we'll see an even comparison between those 3 drivers.
And who made the right adjustments during the break?
Oh, Tyler Ankrum's getting pushed wide off in the grass.
He had an issue. He got loose.
He might have had help getting loose.
He
I think.
did.
How did he just drive through that sand trap?
Loses all the track position. Will come off dead last on the racetrack.
And just like that, Jesse Love goes from a 3rd place car to leading this race.
Just like that, Sean Hangarani back in 2nd. Tyler Ankrum, who's led the most laps today, goes off course, drops to the back. Now, Jesse Love, is the car good enough? Does he have that fuel pressure issue continuing, or is it all good, put to bed, and he can go out and win his 5th race of the season?
Tyler Ankrum has got to be so frustrated right now, having the best car, saying, I don't need any adjustments, leave it alone. Now he finds himself all the way back in 12th place, but a lot worse than that on track position. He's going to have to pass all these cars. Keep in mind, they're not allowed to pit and put tires on again unless they have an issue. So there's no reset at this point. He's going to have to do it the hard way if he's going to get back to the front.
Yeah, and I got to believe that as good as that car's been, that he had a little bit of help when they got down
No doubt about
turn
it.
1. We knew Jesse Love lined up in the 2nd row.
Teammates here, the 20 and the 15. See a replay, what happened on that restart.
So that's Jesse Love right behind Tyler Ankrum. You saw that back end of that car wiggle. Was that a bump or was that maybe some brake lockup?
There's more braking into turn 1 than most people realize. You know, you've got to slow down to get through there. He could have overdrove a little bit, got on the brakes, spiked the pressure a little too hard. But the way that the car wiggled, I've got to think that there's a little bit of contact from behind that pushed him, got him initially loose, and it does not take much for these cars to get out of control.
Yeah, he did. Jamie, you mentioned he did a great job driving that car through the gravel and staying on the racetrack.
Shannon Rush is crew chief for Jesse Love, has to be happy with what he's seeing, but the pressure is on. Sean Hangarani 2nd, and look, Andres Perez into the mix, and here comes 4th, Dean Thompson.
Shannon Rush, you can see the blood pressure in his eyes during his interview earlier about this issue that they're having, because if you're leading the race, you still have that in the back of your mind, and he's not going to calm down until the checker flag flies, because he knows at any moment that issue could resurface. I've never had an issue in a race car just fix itself, ever. I've hoped it would, but it's never just gone away completely.
If I'm Shannon Rush, I've been worried since it happened and prior to qualifying that he was not able to make his qualifying lap. As Trevor mentioned, until he sees the checker flag, whatever position he may be in, that's going to be in the back of his mind.
This is a heck of a battle. 4 cars basically within a second of each other.
And I'm looking at Perez there. They made some good adjustments. He's able to hang on a lot closer right now to that 15 of Hangarani, way better than we saw at the beginning of this race. So this is where experience comes in. if you feel like your car's good, you've got to push it just a little bit more to say, all right, if I'm going to go faster, this is what I need. I'm never a fan, Phil, no matter how good my car is, of just coming in and saying, it's good, don't touch it. Because somebody's going to work on their stuff and get better than you are.
There's got to be a way to make it a little bit better. Especially with 13 turns, you've got multiple left-hand turns, multiple right-hand turns. Am I better in the lefts? Am I better in the rights? Can I be a little bit better one way or the other? How about Hangarani?
Ooh, that might be an issue there. Or Jesse Love is just pulling to the side to block. I'm not sure what we just saw there, but it looked like he had a little bit of a misfire, something down that straightaway to allow Hangarani to get position.
Little lockup by Andres Perez in that shot, but he's back. Battle heating up for third.
Great battle right here.
Hangarani.
Dean Thompson, that 55 car, he's run for Venturinis a couple times this year. Runner-up finishes in both races. No, he wants to do one better.
How about Andres Perez? Let's talk about him for a second. The 18-year-old from Mexico City. Every race this year, he couldn't race at Daytona. He was only 17. He's finished 7th or better in every start, and it's really incredible. The ARCA Menards series, they look for the best drivers all around the world, and right now, Joe Wells from the ARCA Menards series is down in Mexico scouting these drivers, trying to get them to come to America like Andres Perez and Daniel Suarez have done. Heather.
And Jamie, he also runs in the Mexico Series. So right after the race today, he will get on the team plane to Charlotte, and then he will be on a flight out of Charlotte straight to Mexico City tomorrow to a 2-hour drive to Puebla, Mexico, to a road course to get there for practice. So he runs the full season for the Mexico Series alongside here with the ARCA Series, and he's doing a great job just trying to learn as much as he possibly can. His crew chief, Jamie Jones, told me earlier he has really been improving with every single race, and we've just been working as hard as we can to get him as much seat time as possible and as much experience as he can get.
Well, he's a quick learner, just like the man trying to take the lead from Jesse Love right now in the 15. Sean Hangarani trying to get around his teammate, can't get it to work.
I wonder if this is a fuel pressure issue. You talked about fuel pressure dropping. Sometimes when you're in 4th gear at a certain RPM, you can lose fuel pressure, and it looks like a specific spot on that racetrack, the fastest part of the corner, or of the whole track, right there off turn 2 into turn 4. He's losing something there the second half of that straightaway.
That lap looked like a carbon copy of the previous lap. It allowed Hangarani to pull up beside him, getting down in the corner. But once they slowed back down, then Jesse Love was able to pull out again.
And it doesn't look like a defensive block to me. It's like he is preemptively moving over because he knows, you know, just like if you're down a cylinder on an oval, you kind of get your speed up through the corners. But when you hit the straightaway and you have an issue, you're going to get to the side.
We'll see if it happens again.
How about an update on the 55 of Dean Thompson, Heather?
Well, we were talking earlier about what spotters that these teams are using, and they have the all-star Penske lineup as far as spotters go for the 55 of Dean Thompson. They have Austin Cindric, spotter of Doug Campbell, who's his regular spotter in the Truck Series. They also have Josh Williams, who spots for Ryan Blaney, and Coleman Presley, all here. Coleman, of course, spotting for Logano in the Cup Series. So right now, working with the 55 to get him around the 15. But those spotters will be here for trucks tomorrow, and then they will fly to Atlanta for the Cup race.
All-star spotter lineup. There's a lot of action for Dean Thompson when you were reporting on that, Heather. He got around the 15 of Sean Hangarani, who's fallen back the farthest he's been all race long.
Well, he missed turn 1. He ran off the racetrack in turn 1, and that cost him 2nd and 3rd position.
Speaking of running off in turn 1, Tyler Ankram's back up to 8th now, 6.5 seconds behind the leaders. Be interesting to see if he can recover from that, or how far can he recover. A late race caution, re-rack him.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in the top 5, you're not out of this thing yet.
He needs at least one caution, maybe a couple cautions to close up that gap.
Dean Thompson, though, she was just talking about it earlier in the day, had a similar issue to his teammate, lost all the track position. So we've seen drivers be able to go to the rear, recover multiple times here. Jesse Love started in the rear, now leading this race. So anything can happen in this race so far.
See Dale Quarterly running in the 6th spot. Dale doing a great job. There's Jack Wood, the Sioux Chief on board. Jack running in the 7th spot. He's the next car that Ankrum will get to, as Jack looks like he may be trying to make the move on Quarterly. Quarterly's going to throw a block. Jack's going to try to drive by on the outside.
Dale just won't give up, doing such a nice job.
Hangarani doing a little agricultural work as well.
We've seen that a few times by him in the last couple of laps.
There's Ankrum right there, right behind that battle. They got a slow car. Watch out, Tyler.
Looks like Andres Perez. He was running second. He's fallen off the pace as they go 3 wide. He is certainly off the pace.
Tyler Ankrum got a 2 for there, passed 2 of them in 1 corner. Going to be up to 6th place now.
Quarterly did as well. Quarterly moved up to 5th.
It's like Perez is back on it again. Same thing we've seen today with Jesse Love and Dean Thompson.
See if we can tell what happens. He's just off the pace down the straightaway.
Yeah.
Maybe missed a shift. You're shifting from 2nd to 3rd to 4th there, and if it won't go in gear, you know, you're going to slow down to the corner, maybe get it back in gear.
Let's go on board with Jack Wood.
So I'm racing side by side with Quarterly, and Ankrum was going to pull up to the left, and they're going to pull up.
Wow, that was almost 4 wide
almost
for a second
4
there.
wide, which is impossible, but we've certainly seen people with their share of gremlins today.
Now you've got Tyler Ankrum tracking down William Sawalage. He's going to want to make fast work of every pass because he knows these laps are counting down. Looks like the 2 is slow again. Heather, what are you hearing down there on this 2 car of Perez?
Well, Andres Perez just communicated to his team that the throttle keeps getting stuck. So what can I do to release it? So they're working with him right now, asking if it's stuck wide open or stuck closed and what he can do to do that. But Trevor, I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, but that's got to be not only frustrating, but a little scary.
Such a bummer. We just talked about him too, how he hasn't had a finish worse than 7th. He's finished top 5 4 times this season. Driving for Rev Racing, you see what Rev Racing has meant to the ARCA Menards series and the sport of NASCAR, right?
Yeah, those guys aren't bad.
Well, and it goes on. Now you've got Nick Sanchez in the truck series. You can tell this is years 2010 to 14. The other ones just haven't had time yet.
Exactly, and they're on their way too.
Really impressive what they've done for this sport. I hate to see Andres Perez have an issue. Well, Jesse Love leads out front, just 12 laps to go from Mid-Ohio. And a change for the lead for the first time today. Dean Thompson leads it for Venturini Motorsports. Jesse Love, it looks like maybe that issue continues. Like you mentioned, Trevor, we've been watching him. He was able to lead 8 laps, but he's fallen back a bit. Let's see how it happened.
Yeah, going down the backstretch, Jesse Love just pulled over and knew he was vulnerable. This is the keyhole, turn 2. This is going to start the backstretch. See Dean Thompson right on the back bumper of Jesse Love. Jesse's going to pull over because he knows that he's having an issue and no sense causing a problem.
Yeah, and he gets off the corners good. That's what's frustrating for Jesse Love because he can roll the slow speed sections of the track pretty quick and hold his own, but every time he gets to that straightaway between turn 2 and 3, he just loses speed. The engine starts dive bombing and you know, has the issues there.
How about this battle for the lead, though? Remember, these are teammates, but not necessarily like we think. These are both guys going for a win here, going for their first wins. Dean Thompson, the 55, has 2 runner-up finishes this year. Pingarani's won a couple times in the West, but never in the National Series.
Well, they see blood in the water now. I mean, everybody's having issues. Tyler Ankrum's had an issue. Sean Pingarani had an issue and ran off track, lost 3 spots. Now he's battling back. Jesse Love, I don't know that I want to be the leader right now. Actually, Phil, now that I think about it.
And if I'm Ankrum, say, you guys keep battling, keep battling. Remember, he was about 6.5 seconds behind. Now he's only 4.8 seconds behind. Fastest car on the racetrack that lap.
And he's doing the math in his head. He says, I'm 3.2 seconds back, and he's trying to do the math. Is 8 laps enough to catch it?
He gained 1.5 seconds that lap.
The answer is yes.
Yes,
in that
yes.
3-way battle for the lead as the laps wind down here at Mid-Ohio. Dean Thompson, the driver out of Anaheim, California, leading here in his 3rd ARCA Menards Series start. He's done great.
He really has. It's going to be a 4-way battle before long because Ankrum is coming.
Yeah, maybe 3-way. Jesse Love just keeps on falling back down that straightaway, and I hate that for them.
See, Ankrum's right there. He knows he's catching him. He knows that he's within reach here of these guys. Jamie, what's going on with Ankrum? What are they saying?
Well,
his team is telling him just remain calm, one lap at a time. You're going to get there. They're telling him he's the fastest car on the racetrack, but really it answered a lot of questions that they had after he went off track. Once we went back to green, they didn't know if he had gotten hit. They didn't know if he had any damage. He's been so quiet over the radio, but now with these lap times, they know that they've still got a good car underneath him, but you see him go wide again.
Staying calm, easier said than done.
Yeah. That was not staying calm.
No, that's what you can't do. You can't let that heart rate get up. You can't start getting shaky. Oh, but you can watch the leaders in front of you make contact and keep gaining on them.
How about
Contact,
that?
leaning on each other.
Off track.
Sean
He's going to spin right in
Hangarani.
front of Ankrum. Which way is he going to go?
And those are teammates, folks.
Sean Hangarani, after a great day leading this race, is sitting across the track right at the start-finish line right now. He's going to get it going again. No caution. Probably the worst thing that could happen there. He's hoping for a caution in that instance.
Now Jesse Love right back to the rear bumper of Dean Thompson again.
I mean, we don't know what's happening, Phil.
This is when he loses that ground. Now look and watch Dean Thompson drive away. Didn't seem to be as bad that straightaway as it has been in the past.
Let's watch that one again.
There'll be some contact right here, I think. You see a little bit of a bump right there. Moves Dean Thompson out to the side sideways, and Dean Thompson said, I'm just going to use the racetrack, and you're going to have to find another way.
Yeah, and that just wasn't the place to do it for Sean, and that's a little bit of an experience of setting him up, making that move where you know you can't clear him, and you know you're going to have to turn left for the next two corners. You just put yourself in a vulnerable spot. Tyler Ankrum had to check up a lot there, though, and didn't make up as much time on the leader on Dean Thompson as he would have hoped.
Sean Hangarani now back in 8th position. As you see, the 75 is stopped on the track.
Not sure if that's Bob Scheck. Not sure if he's going to be able to get it refired.
Maybe he got a little help.
We're thinking, we're hearing that maybe the 15 said, I need a caution flag, so I want to see if I can help myself get one.
Maybe that's what we saw right there, Sean Hangarani.
Sometimes it's not even intentional. You just went from battling for the lead. Now you're a half a track behind, and you just see red. And now we see this.
This is what...
How about Ankrum now? Ankrum right there with him. Let's see if Jesse Love has to pull over because of the issue. He does, and Ankrum's going to drive right by.
Nobody between him and the lead now.
You can see the lead from here.
And obviously, Tyler Ankrum is far superior to Dean Thompson. He has run him down from 6 seconds in 3 laps, Phil. That's incredible. I didn't know if he could make it, to be honest, when he was 4/10 a lap quicker, but that was a huge gain those last 2 laps.
This is the battle you've been waiting for, Trevor. You knew he wasn't out. Tyler Ankrum was going to fight his way back. Can he get the lead back from Dean Thompson? Thompson leading on a road course for the first time in this series. Jesse Love cuts the grass behind him.
Jesse's doing all he can do. He just cannot overcome the issue he has on the long straightaway. Again, Dean Thompson, Tyler Ankrum, well, they'll be racing each other tomorrow as well.
They are pushing these things like the race of their life right now.
Love how you can hear those tires squealing. Jesse Love watching the action back in 3rd. William Sawalich, haven't talked a ton about him today, but he's kept it in the top 5.
Yeah, Jack Wood right there behind Sawalich. Jack in the 5th spot.
Ooh, we got a peek for the lead here.
Dean Thompson gives him room. Not a lot of room, but he gives him some room.
Ankrum leans on him.
They're going to stay side by side.
Doesn't quite clear him. Dean Thompson hangs on.
You see Tyler Ankrum used to those trucks, the side draft. He tried to pack some air on the right rear of that 55. Gives him some space now, and he's going to make the pass into turn 4.
Sawalich got by Jesse Love for the 3rd spot.
Tyler Ankrum takes the lead once again. Dean Thompson falls in line behind him. Perhaps that was a Reese's Sweet move.
Jesse Love took a shot at the 18, locked his brakes up to keep from running into the 18. I'm thinking about maybe that pass for the lead being one of my sweet moves.
I like it.
Well, our offense so far, Tyler Ingram,
Yeah,
so he's got a good shot.
I like when Tyler Ingram missed Hangarani. I like that as a sweet move as well. You see Jack Wood move to the inside of Jesse Love. That's a battle for fourth.
Jack Wood isn't finished with this race just yet. He'll be driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports in the 51 truck tomorrow.
And Steve Plattenberger has made this 6-car better for Jack Wood.
And I like to see the fight in Jesse Love. I mean, he has not given up. He knows he's pretty much down a cylinder down the straightaways, but through the slow sections, through the corners, he's pushing that 20 car as hard as he can.
He can stay with anybody here everywhere except that long back straightaway.
That's hard to race around if you're Jack Wood, though, because you don't know, right? Like, when's his car going to pick up? When's it going to fall on his face? And you're thinking, all right, I've got him. And then all of a sudden his engine picks up again and he tries to pass you in a braking zone. So that's hard to race around.
Jesse did a nice job staying off of the 6-car of Jack Wood there. He had to lock the brakes up to keep from running into Jack. And now look, Jack's opened up about 6 car lengths down the straightaway.
I just can't imagine being Tyler Ingram. He's got to be thinking right now, how did I get the lead with 4 laps to go here? How am I out front, got a second lead, just take care of this thing and get it home now?
12 laps to go. He wasn't even in the same long back straightaway as them, over 6.5 seconds behind.
What a day. How do we fit this much action in 38 laps, y'all?
This has been exciting. Tyler Ingram has led the most laps today, working his 17th lap. I mean, what a boost of confidence, a race like this, no matter if he takes home the win or not, just the confidence that he'll carry over to the Truck Series race tomorrow.
Well, in his mind, the only option now is to win, Jamie. I can tell you.
That's all that's on the line.
He says my confidence will be high if I get the trophy. Nothing but that for now.
It's got to be fun for these guys battling like they have. Jesse Love, maybe not so much.
Yeah, that's such a hard day, and so many times he probably thought it was behind him, or hoped it was, and it just doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure Shannon Rush ever thought it was behind him. That's a crew chief's job to worry about stuff like that.
These kind of days, though, Jamie and Phil, when you can still have a top 5 day, if he can bring it home in these next 3 laps, he's gaining points on his competition, the 30 of Frankie Muniz. So if he can do that on a day when he's having issues, that's a championship contending year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Got a bonus point for leading.
Yep.
Good battle here for this second spot. Williams Wallace all over the back of Dean Thompson in the 55.
Hate to see Sean Hangarani have the issues he did, because I mean he's just been in the mix all day long, just putting on a show.
He brought a little bit of those on himself, I think.
But sometimes you just wish that the best cars all day were there at the end to see.
And the biggest problem is the timing.
Right.
It has happened way later in the race than everybody else. No chance to recover.
Great run today. We haven't talked about Christian Rose doing a nice job running up in the 9th spot. Almost heaven, West Virginia.
He threw out the first pitch of the Cleveland Guardians game. What a cool opportunity for him. He was a Division I pitcher.
I wonder how hard he threw it. How hard do you think he threw it up there on that?
Harder than they probably were anticipating.
I guarantee you.
You know what's so cool? He threw out the first pitch in his fire suit. Yeah. I haven't seen somebody do that.
I'd be worried I'd tear a seam out of that thing, you know?
Great battle for second here. Now Jack Wood has joined this battle. Just 2 laps to go.
And somehow our double dippers this weekend, the drivers running both series, the Truck Series and ARCA here at Mid-Ohio, they found their way to the front.
Yes, they did.
You've got Jesse Love, Del Quarterly, Jack Wood, William Sawalich, Dean Thompson, Tyler Ingram. There's your 6 drivers running both series, all in the top 6 right now.
Top 4 positions right now. 4 of the top 5. Jesse Love is actually not running the truck race tomorrow.
Part-time truck driver, not tomorrow.
Part-time truck driver.
Yep,
he actually shares the truck that William Sawalich is driving tomorrow.
Irony in that, right?
Yes, yes.
It's 2 laps to go here.
And for Tyler Ingram, he's had a tough year in the trucks where he runs full-time. This is what you need going into tomorrow, where he knows that he's good at road courses, right? Had a top 10 finish earlier in the season in the Truck Series on road courses. So this is why he's running this race today here with Hattori, is to build confidence, log laps, get ready for that Truck Series race, and maybe to collect the trophy.
That's right. It's all about trophies. 1 to go.
White flag is in the air. Can Tyler Ankrum hang on for one more lap? Dean Thompson about 3 seconds behind William Sawalich and Jack Wood in the top 4.
Jack has a nice run going off of turn 1. Going to try to make his way to the inside of Sawalich. Sawalich gives him room.
It's a heck of a battle there.
It is.
They know it's last lap. Most of these drivers don't have to worry about the big picture, the points picture. It's all about trying to take home that trophy.
Jack's trying to get his best career ARCA finish here.
Sawalich, you have to be on offense. If you're just trying to play defense, you're going to get past. He's got to try to attack here, get by Dean Thompson, as you see. Oh, a little retaliation, a lot of retaliation here.
Contact. Now they're both in the sand trap. Teammates.
As teammates. That's when it gets tricky here. I don't know that I like that there, Jamie.
I don't like it at all.
Looks like we are going to stay green here as Tyler Ankrum, Hattori Motorsports, brought this great car, and what a great day it has been. Checker flag in the air. Tyler Ankrum gets his first ARCA Menards Series win.
Sawalich is going to hang on for the second spot. Jack Wood third.
Gets his best career finish. And what a mess. What a mess for these two. Sean Hangarani, Dean Thompson get together, park it in the kitty litter.
Yeah, and that's a frustrating day as a team owner. You know, you see both your cars in the sand trap. One was a potential second place finisher. The conversation that's happening now is what needed to happen out of the race car, not in the race cars.
Don't use these race cars to decide that battle.
Both drivers led laps today. Both had cars capable of getting the job done.
Well,
Here's what happened.
This was an obvious wait for the 55 so I can put him over in the kitty litter.
And if you're a spotter and crew chief, you're saying, hey, let's think about this. You know, the thing is, it's not just drivers that are involved. We talk about them being teammates, but now they load these cars up, and all these guys who worked all week to prepare these cars got to go back and unload these 2 race cars that are full of sand and torn up a little bit and have to work together. So that's tough.
There's not much time. They've got another race coming up at Iowa on July 15th. Well, we'll hear from the winner, Tyler Ankrum, after this. Stay with us from here at Mid-Ohio. Tomorrow is Baseball Night in America on Fox. Catch 2 of the game's best go head-to-head as Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves take on the Rays, or it's the Mariners as they take on the Astros. It all starts at 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area. Well, what a day it was for that man. Tyler Ankrum went off track earlier, drove all the way back up. He's back to first on lap 38, ended up leading the most laps today with 20. His team's excited as they celebrate. And he finds a lucky little fan to give away the flag. I love that part of the celebration. And he is stopped on the finish line with Jamie Howe.
And for Tyler, we watched you lead all of those laps, come in for that pit stop, and then go off right at the restart. How did you put your head down and drive back through the field?
I mean, I knew I had a great car. We were really fast in practice, really fast in qualifying. I just had to pull my head out of my rear end and keep it up front. And as far as I drove it in deep the first time, I was like, well, I'm on the bottom. It should have worked now. Drove it in there and just sent it right off. Got super lucky. I ended up in the sand pit, but I guess I just had enough speed just to wedge my way through the sand. So I can't thank these HRE guys enough. Laguna, finally glad to get them a win. They've been with me for a better part of 4 years now, so I'm super proud to have my brothers and sisters on the car and all 500,000 Laguna members, and also these HRE guys. Just hats off to these guys. They brought an awesome car. I don't think my car was as good as it was. I would have been able to drive through the field like that. I never want to do that again. I would much rather just let all those laps.
You definitely had the speed, but you also had the drive inside of you. You made no secret about coming out to do this race, to get the experience for tomorrow's truck race, get yourself into the top 10. What does this do for your confidence?
Oh, I mean, it's huge. I mean, winning no matter what, it always feels good. We were talking before the race about what we wanted to learn from this, take to the truck, and we've learned a lot. There's quite a few things that we can take away from this and add it to the truck.
We can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. Congratulations on today. Tyler Ankrum, our winner. Heather?
And William Swalich brings it home second again here today. And what a battle there between you and some other drivers at the end, but you went from fourth to second. Just take us through your battle and what you saw in front of you.
Yeah, for sure. When we fired off on that restart from the break, we were just like way too tight. And then finally they started to come to me once I could get the rear tires hot and get it rotated. Ran some really good laps there in the last like 10 or so laps. So really happy about that. We had a really fast down gear Toyota Camry and on to the truck race tomorrow.
You just said it. You get to do this all over again tomorrow. You're starting 8th. So what are your expectations going into the race with the Truck Series?
Yeah, for sure. I think if we can just stay in the top 10, that'll be a win, and learn and keep it on the track and just learn as much as possible from all those great drivers.
Thanks, William.
Well done by that young man. He just continues to impress. Well, winners so far this season in the ARCA Menards Series National Series, Greg Van Alst, who could forget that huge win at Daytona for him, the celebration. He's making his Xfinity Series debut in Atlanta this weekend. Tomorrow. Today. Tomorrow, Saturday.
What day is it? This weekend.
We
should have stopped right there. I should have stopped right there.
And you see young Tyler Reif got it done at Phoenix. Jesse Love, we know what he's been doing. How about Tyler Ankrum? How cool, huh, Trevor, to see him add his name to that list?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that this team had not won an ARCA race until today. And for Tyler Ankrum to come back after that long, 2018, since he ran one of these cars last, and be able to go out here and win today, I know it's a lot of fun for him. And road racing in general, it's just a blast when you get the chance to do it.
And you talked at the top of the show about all the truck regulars and how strong they would be, and would one of those guys be able to knock off Jesse Love? Well, Jesse had some problems, Heather, but Tyler Ankrum ended up in victory lane.
It was an eventful day for sure for Jesse Love. Jesse, you had fuel pump issues, electrical issues. We saw you having to pull to the side on that straightaway there. So take us kind of through your day and exactly what was happening with the car.
Yeah, first off, I want to give all the glory to God, and second of all, I want to thank my crew guys for busting their butts all day long on our JBL Toyota Camry. I don't know what was going on, but whenever I'd get about 2 laps into a run, I would just lose all my fuel pressure. Like, once I was in, whatever gear and got up on RPM, it would just start sputtering, and the fuel pressure gauge would go way down. So, we were the best car through every single corner on the racetrack, and I thought we were the best car at the end of the day. We just, especially in the infield, we were so fast. And just, I'm not sure what happened. Just something fuel pressure-wise went south, and then I was obviously, trying to help my teammate win the race and blocking all I could. Just once I got to the backstretch, no matter what I did, I just had no shot to hold with them down the straightaway. So, definitely want to thank everybody at Veterinary Motorsports for busting their butts. We'll go to Iowa and rebound from tonight.
Well, plagued by mechanical issues there, but a strong top 5 for Jesse Love. Jamie Howe?
And it was Frankie Muniz who finished just outside of the top 5 in that number 6 place, now just 43 points behind Jesse in terms of the championship. And this was your first road course behind the wheel of an ARCA car. What did you learn?
The racing is so fun in this series, honestly. It's so tight, but I don't know. I learned so much. It's so different from when I used to race, but I had a blast. You know what I mean? I learned a lot for Watkins Glen, and just so happy to have the Muniz Racing colors on here. My son has a little car at home, and I wanted him to be able to drive the same car that Daddy has, because this is honestly a dream come true. So I'm having a blast, and I love it. I really do.
All right, congratulations today.
Thanks so much.
I love the emotion from him.
Yeah,
I know
he's
not
a novelty to him.
Right. He's an
Exactly.
actor, but this is not acting. This is what means the world to him. He has been passionate about racing since he was a little boy, and now he's living that dream. And he actually said earlier this week that his whole goal next year, it's planned, he's either going truck racing or Xfinity Series racing, and the big picture is he wants to be in Cup on Sundays.
Yeah, and this is a huge part of Cup racing now. We talked about it earlier in the show, how road racing has really become a much bigger part of our sport. And so for Frankie to have some road racing background, he talked about how these cars are different. So now he's just got to couple that road racing experience with stock cars, full body cars, get used to that. But it's really cool to see somebody genuinely appreciate the opportunity to be here and to be able to compete at this level.
Trevor, back when I started, we had one road course race at Riverside.
Yeah.
Then we added Watkins Glen, and then Riverside went away, and
now
then we added
6.
Sonoma. Now there's 6, and there's 8 in the Xfinity Series.
It's so neat. You saw him get emotional talking about his son. And he said, everything I've done in my life, you know, the success I had in television, success I had maybe racing open wheel, that was all in the past. But now my little boy is seeing me do it and seeing my passion. And you see it.
I know what that's like. I mean, that was a big thing for me to be able to take what I thought was going to be our last child. We had 4, and I was like, all right, last year in Xfinity, they get to see me race. Well, now we're having a 5th, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But that's a big deal when your kids can come.
Soccer team over here.
He's got a full-blown starting 5 for basketball.
I've got a pit crew if I do want to go race here in a few years.
Oh, there's his little boy driving the race car. How cute is
really
that?
cool.
That's awesome.
He's got the intensity in his eyes.
That's right.
Perhaps a future race car driver right there. Muniz Racing. That is so cute. And cleanup continues from the last lap incident between teammates. We have more to come from Mid-Ohio as we wrap things up from the ARCA Menards series. This summer, it's the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup with defending champs USA chasing an historic 3rd win in a row. Don't miss the action when the tournament kicks off July 20th on the networks of Fox Sports. We're excited about this. It's all in Australia, New Zealand, and here are some of the matches coming up. USA versus Vietnam, July 21st, then the Netherlands, July 26th, and Portugal, August 1st. A lot of soccer action.
Yeah. I love the World Cup, though.
Yeah, nothing like that. Nothing like watching the World Cup, whether it's the women or the men. But the women have just done so well the last 2 times out, so hopefully they can go 3 in a row. Let's hear from some of our finishers today. Heather.
And Jack Wood coming off of his best career finish of 3rd here in the ARCA Menards series. So we know you've been working on your left-handers and your right-handers, so should we start calling you a road course ringer now?
Oh, I got a ways to go, that's for sure. But yeah, it was a decent day for us. I mean, I think that first stint, we really didn't have the speed that I thought we had in practice, and then got it a little better for the second stint. And you know, it was always just a little bit too late. But you know, I'm proud of these guys, and I have a blast working with this Rev team, and I'm very thankful to be a part of the organization, and looking forward to Watkins Glen.
And you start 9th tomorrow in the truck race, so what can you apply that you learned today with your extra seat time this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really tough to pass here. And I mean, for being a road course, I feel like there's so many heavy braking zones, and the competition's so tight that it's just it's tough to get around guys. But restarts are going to be really important. I think I kind of learned my lesson on that today, and probably played a little too nice on a couple of them. But I think we got a great truck for tomorrow too with KBM, and it should be fun to go 2 for 2.
Thanks, Jack. Jamie Howe?
We talked about Dale Quarterly, this being his 2nd racing career, his first coming in Superbikes, but it was actually here at Mid-Ohio 30 years ago where he made that Superbike debut. You come back today in the ARCA Menards series, and you made the highlight reels a few times, 3 wide we saw. At what point did you know that you had a car that was fast enough to run up front?
You know, we've been struggling the last year or so trying to come back up to speed. We had some health issues. We had to stop for a little while. And little by little, we're gaining on the actual speed to run with the leaders, which was today. And I had a killer 3 wide move going. I had them all cleared. Life was great. The next thing I know, bang, and I'm going around in the grass doing pirouettes, right? So it was a good race. There was a ton of people here today. Weather was perfect. It was great.
Now, you said that you were pushing as hard as you absolutely could. When it came to braking, sometimes you gave it 5 pumps. Eventually, it needed 6, though. What kind of car did you have at the end of the race? What do you take forward?
We like I said, we're still gaining on it. We get better every week. I drove it as hard as I possibly could all day with about 3 to go. The brakes were going away, and they finally got me on the 1 to go, and I had to go through the grass a little and come back on. I lost 1 spot, but it was still a great day. We had a good day out.
Dale Quarterly proving that anybody can still get the job done. They just got to try hard enough, Jamie.
That's right, Jamie. 62 years old, finishes in the top 5, and there's more. He's racing tomorrow. I can't wait to see what he can do with the truckers. Well, we talked about the points being a big talking point. Can anybody stop Jesse Love? Well, apparently not. He didn't have the best day. He didn't win the race, but he's still 43 points ahead of Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, gained a lot of ground on Andres Perez. Perez finished back in the 15th spot with issues.
Still a lot of races to go. only 8 in of 20 here, so there's still plenty of time. These guys just have to keep their heads down and stay after it. It's those little battles every weekend you got to win if you're trying to track somebody like Jesse Love down.
By the way, that was the first top 5 in ARCA for Dale Quarterly, so indeed, anything is possible. Well, we've talked about the Reese's Sweet Moves of the race, so we have our nominees. Here they are.
This is the first lead that Tyler Ankrum gets when he gets by the 15 of Haggerani earlier in the race before the break. Move number 1, sweet move number 1.
Look, this starts out as a bitter move of the race, but it turns into a sweet move when he keeps it going. Any spin here, any kind of stalling in the sand would have wiped away any chance of Tyler Ankrum getting back to the lead. He kept it going through that, kept it rolling, and then it led to this.
Okay, Tyler Ankrum, 3 for 3 here. He can't lose at this point. Another sweet move of the race. What do you think at home?
Pass for the win right there.
Pass for the win, and he never looked back. Brings it home for his first career win. Remember, starting tomorrow at 9 a.m., you could vote for your Reese's Sweet Move of the race, and it's going to be Tyler, or Tyler. Go to the ARCA Menards Series Twitter page at ARCA_racing.
I like number 2 like Trevor does. I think that move for the dirt, because there were no caution flags after that. If he loses 3 more seconds, he may not be in contention to win this race.
Oh, he's got his dog.
We know you like that, Jamie.
That is awesome. I love dogs in Victory Lane. That's what we need. Look how cute. Right next to the trophy. Beautiful. Take a picture of that. Well, we have a lot more racing from Mid-Ohio coming up this weekend. Coverage all on FS1. Trucks Race Day, 12:30 Eastern. And then Phil Parsons, myself, and Michael Waltrip will bring you the Truck Series action, 1:30 Eastern. Well, it's a grind for the ARCA Menards Series. There's no breaks. If you had damage today, boys got to get to work because they're racing at Iowa halfway across the country, 8 p.m. Eastern next Saturday. For Phil Parsons, Trevor Bain, Heather DeBoe, Jamie Howe, FS1, we're happy you joined us here. As we look at dogs in Victory Lane, I love it. We've got the Menards shopping cart. What a fun day it was. We hope you enjoyed it. Some great racing action from front to back. We'll see a lot more tomorrow. As the crews go to work, he drives through the sand. Oh, and Dad takes him down with the kids. I'm Jamie Little. Thanks so much for joining us for ARCA Menards Series action. We'll see you tomorrow from Mid-Ohio.